Hello, yogis. Welcome to your practice. I am Anne. Today's practice, we are going to be focusing on our spinal health. Just something you can do anytime that your back is feeling a little achy, you feel like you need to stretch it out. I am an expert at this. I had back surgery when I was 13 years old, so for my whole life I have been dealing with lower back and also upper back pain, but I have found a few things that I really like to help me just ease the pain when I need it. And so this is going to be a shorter practice. It's used just like as a tune-up in the morning or something to wind down at the end of the day, or if you feel like you've tweaked your back, it could be a good thing to do just to help start healing things. So, of course, if you have a major back issue or injury, check with your doctor first before you do this practice, okay? Just to make sure it's safe for you. So we're going to start in a seated space, and we'll just close our eyes and take a moment to ground our energy, arrive. Now, if you can't sit like this because your back hurts so much, you can sit up in a chair if you need to, okay? For this beginning, just kind of something that feels more supportive. It's also really nice to place a bolster underneath your sitting bones if you feel like you need a little bit of extra cushion there. Close your eyes and allow yourself to arrive. Take a nice full deep breath in through your nose. Big sigh out. Inhale. Let it go. One more time. Inhale. Let it go. We're going to start right away with Sufi rolls. I suggest crossing the legs. You could also do this seated up on the edge of a chair if you needed to, or you can straddle your legs as an alternate. Hands are on your knees or your thighs, and basically you're circling your upper body around. So as you inhale, draw your heart through center, and exhale, circle around the back and round your spine. And you can do this as deep or as upright as you need to today. This is a great way to create a moving meditation in your body as well, so it's helpful to close your eyes and just feel your body stretching out. Depending on where you're tight, you'll feel this in different places. So allow yourself to match your breath to your movement. Slow things down. Turn your awareness inward. The breath is super important for healing. If you're dealing with an actual injury, just using the breath as a tool to settle that space in your body down that's barking at you, that's talking to you. Really move organically. If you notice a spot that's really tight, you can kind of just work in it if you need to. And let's switch our direction of our movement. If your legs are crossed, sometimes it's helpful to switch the crossing of the legs as well. Going on in there. So if you practice with me regularly, this is just a nice practice to do to really feel good in your spine. Okay, lots of things will feel familiar because I always do things in my practices that help your spine because, you're only as healthy as your spine is healthy. You're only as young as your spine is healthy as well. And it's a true thing. If you don't use it, you do lose it. You lose mobility. Let's start to make the circles slightly smaller, winding up through the crown of your head. Move into the shoulders and upper back a little bit more. Good. Take a deep breath in, shrug your shoulders up. And exhale, let them go. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Free the knees, as I like to say in my classes. Free your knees, shake them out. Flex your feet. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Lengthen your spine and fold towards your legs. Now, if you're really tight, you might be stuck up here. That's okay. You can always bend your knees a little bit. Otherwise, you're lengthening down to a place that feels doable for you today. And then you can rock gently side to side. And then pause again and lengthen a little bit more, and then go in as deep as feels good. Some different actual back injuries, it's not necessarily great for you to go super deep. So again, check in with yourself. If your body's telling you to stop, listen to that. Okay, if you don't have an injury per se, but you're just wanting to improve your spinal health, going as deep as your body will allow. Beautiful. Come on up. Bring your right foot into your left inner thigh. Lengthen your left arm down the leg, inside or outside will do as well. And extend your right arm up and over your ear. Soften your shoulder down the back. Drop down through the bottom elbow and shoulder. You can hang your head, but work into your side body. So one thing that really is helpful to think about is a healthy spine. You want to forward bend, back bend, side bend in each direction and twist every single day. So we breathe into the tights that feel like they're talking to us here. Just slowing everything down. Good. Inhale, come on up. You can do any of these stretches a lot longer if they feel really good on your own later. Lengthen your spine and reach towards your foot, your shin, or just your mat. Neutralize your neck or even drop your chin towards your chest and deepen the breath. And you can go deeper by flexing your left ankle, by spreading your toes out, by lengthening through your heart. Make sure you don't tense around your neck here. Breathe space into your lower spine. Beautiful. Come on up. Take left hand to right knee, your right hand gently behind you. Lengthen through the crown of your head and find a gentle twist. Breathe through everything you do here. Really helpful to close your eyes. Good. Unwind back to center and switch your legs. So start with just taking your right hand down your right shin, your left arm up and over, drop the bottom shoulder and elbow, hang your head, look down or up, whatever feels better in your neck, but really bend into your side body. Keep both of your sitting bones on the mat and breathe. Breathing is really a partner to your stretching. If you're holding your breath, you're creating tension. It's helpful to close the eyes and tune out. There's not a lot to see in this practice, so you can have your eyes closed a lot. Let's come on up, turn towards your stretched out leg. Reach your arms up, square your hips and shoulders, and then lengthen out towards the foot. And bend your knee a little if you need it, okay? Otherwise, anchoring down through the back of the leg, lengthening, spreading your toes out, flexing the ankle, drawing down through the left shoulder if it's lifted at all. This is a really nice stretch on the left side of your lower back, the back of the hip. And the nice thing about this practice is tune in to how your body is reacting, how you're feeling. Tune out of all the busyness in your mind. Beautiful. Come on up, taking right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, shoulder blades down the back. Sit up tall as you rinse out your back. Good. Unwind back to center. Let's come to our hands and our knees next. Pad your knees if you have tender knees, my friends. And we'll start out with a traditional cat-cow, melting the heart, gazing forward and opening up the throat to any amount. Exhale, rounding your spine like an angry cat. Pushing into your hands, doming into your upper back. Inhale, melting your heart, gazing forward. Exhale, rounding spine. Inhale, melting heart, gazing out. And round, exhale. Good. 3 more like that. Just to your own breath, creating space, movement. And we're going to now take it into hip circles. I like my knees a little wider. Hips go to the right, they sweep back to the left and forward. And do about 5 in this first direction, really just loosening up the outer hips, getting the back to stretch out. Once you've done 4 or 5, switch directions. Breathe. And we'll take it into a child's pose. So you can have, my bobby pin failed. You can have your knees wide or together. I kind of like mine together, so it's up to you. Experiment. Arms reach out, hips are back, forehead draws to the earth. And just allow yourself to stretch the back out, get grounded. It's also super relaxing and great for your nervous system to just reduce stress, anxiety. Do a little stretch within this pose. So lift up enough through your chest. You can bring your knees closer together if you chose wide. Walk your right hand to the right, your left hand on top of the right hand. Stretch the arms to the right, but pull the hips back towards the left. Getting another side body stretch and lengthening for the lower back. Always breathing deeply through each pose. I'm right here with you. Walk your hands now to the left. Let your hips sway back towards the right. Rinsing out the body. Walk your hands to center. Let's come to our hands and our knees. Tuck our toes and lift the knees and hips up and back, finding a downward facing dog. Just pedal the legs, bend one knee and then the next, going back and forth a few times. Really finding length in your back. So if you're really tight, you'll have to bend the knees more. Try to flatten the back. You want to take any rounding or arching out of the spine here. Take a couple deep breaths into spacious spine. I like wagging my hips a little side to side. That helps me loosen up the lower back. And we're going to come forward towards a plank and then just lower the knees down and gently lower down to your belly. Doing a couple back bends here. Just warming up the back a little bit more so hands are grounded next to your chest. Feet pressed down, lifting the heart just enough where you feel strength happening in your spine. You feel that curvature happening. For baby cobra, squeeze the elbows back and together. I don't want you to push through the arms here, okay? Just using the strength of your back. Take another breath and exhale, lower down. Doing that again, inhale, cobra. Beautiful. Exhale, lower. One more time, cobra. And lower. All right, so we're down on our belly. Take your left forearm across your mat. Bend your right leg. Grab a hold of the outer ankle of your right foot. Use a strap around the foot if you can't reach. Okay, keep the knee in line with your hip. Don't let your knee come to the side too much. And then pulling the heel towards your sitting bones and gently bowing forward. You can rest your forehead down, if that makes sense, or turn your head to the side. Once you're here, kind of pull your lower belly up and in, and then lengthen even more back through the knee energetically, and that really deepens the stretch in the front of your quad. When our quads are tight, they can pull on our back. Good. Switch sides. Again, I said this before, you can do any of these stretches longer if you know that they really work for you. So grab a hold of your left foot, keep your knee in line with your hip, pull the heel in, and then lengthen back through the knee as you pull your belly up and in, resting the head down if that makes sense for you. Deepening your breath. Beautiful. Release that second side. Bring your hands next to your chest. Press back up onto your hands and your knees. And then bring your feet around and in front of you. We'll take the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. Hands to your feet, round your spine, come over your feet. You can push your forearms into your shins, or you can reach your hands forward and bow in more. I'm letting the back round this time. You might feel this a lot in your hamstrings. But just breathe into the place that is tight. Sometimes when our spine or our backs are feeling achy, it's actually coming from somewhere else in the body. Good. Peel yourself up. Listen carefully for this one. I want you to lean deeply over onto your left sitting bone. Push your left hand into the ground. Take your right hand right where your hip and your thigh meet. So not up here on your knee. That's really important. But deep down in your hip crease. And as you lean towards the left, you push into your right hand. That's creating some space in the hip socket. Amazing for any lower back, sacral issues. If your sacrum gets tight or out of balance, this is a good one. Good. Come on through center, lean to the other side, hand goes again deep into the hip crease, equal amounts of leaning and pushing here. And then most important is breathing. Remember, the breath is half of the work. Beautiful, releasing. Scooping the knees together. Let's come to our hands and our knees. Again, I want to do a stretch here that I love also for the sacrum. So here you're going to take your right foot outside of your right hand, and you'll notice how my knee is above my ankle and my other hip is above my knee, okay? So this is not lizard stretch where your knee is back, rather the knee is above or below, I should say, the hip. You can use blocks here underneath your arms if you're tighter. So you can start by just bringing your hands inside and holding here. Eventually, you're lowering down to blocks on your forearms or forearms on your blocks or forearms on the ground. Just hang your head. You might feel a deep stretch in this front hamstring, but really you're opening up space across your lower back. So again, really important with your back knee that it falls right below your hip. Relaxing the effort in your neck. And to make this more challenging, you inch a little closer to your right ankle. Deepen your breath if you've lost it. Good. Crawl back up onto your hands again. Nice one. You could do longer. Bring your right knee down and just switch sides. Left foot comes forward. Knee over ankle. Back knee under hip. Hands start grounded, and maybe you lower to forearms. Relaxing the neck. Hanging out and breathing. And just observe your body, where you feel a stretch, where you feel light and open and airy. And the heavier places, the tighter places, that's where you send your breath to right now. I could stay here all day. We're going to come out of the second side a little different. Come up onto your hands. Step your right foot forward now. Heels in, toes out. Squat for Malasana. A block under your sitting bones is helpful, or a blanket up under your heels if you can't quite get your heels down. Elbows pressed to inner knees. Crown of your head lifts. And go ahead and circle your head around here. Half circles, full circles. Just loosening up the upper back and neck. Taking tension out of that space in your body. Another pose that is so wonderful if your lower back is sore. It's a good one to practice all the time so you can get into it comfortably and use it when you need it. Option here to do a little bit of a deeper version for the last couple breaths. So you'll bring your heart inside of your thighs more. Take your right shoulder in front of your right knee, fingers to the right, and then extend your left arm up to the sky. Push your right shoulder into that right knee and breathe. Hanging the head is an option if the neck needs that. I'd switch sides if you're doing my little twist here. Love this stretch. On days my lower back is hurting, I intuitively just drop into this pose anywhere I am. It really helps. Beautiful. Hands to the earth. We're going to move to our sitting bones. If you have the flexibility, you can just sit back, stretch your legs out, shake them out, let the knees free, and then make your way down onto your back. Bend your knees, put your hands on your thighs, and push your hands into your thighs, creating traction for your lower back. It doesn't take a lot. I have just a couple more things for you guys today. Hopefully this has been a relaxing, releasing, short little practice. Hands release from your thighs, hands alongside your hips. Lift your hips up, take a bridge pose. Squeeze the thighs, so you don't want your knees to go wide here. Ground your feet, and you can even play with lifting your toes and just pressing through your heels and the balls of your feet more. And then I always like to tuck my tail just slightly and lift up into my upper back a tiny bit more. You can interlace your hands underneath you, but you don't have to today. Just take a couple breaths here. Good. Slowly roll on down. Swish your knees to the right and to the left. And then pause in the center. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Open up through the right hip. You can again just push your hands on your thighs or take your hands and weave them behind the belly of your left hamstring for thread the eye of the needle. Pull your knee in. Relax your shoulders. Deepen your breath. Hip stretches are so important when you are tender in your lower back. If you feel like you have sciatica, this particular stretch or deeper version pigeon, couple minutes a day on each side. Even if just one side is hurting, do both. I should mention that if you're here and your head is kind of straining to be on the ground, put a pillow under it. And if your tailbone's really lifted, try to draw it down to the ground. Let's gently release that first side. Bring your right foot to the ground, left ankle over right thigh. You can press your hands into the top of your thighs or interweave the hands behind the belly of the right hamstring. Keeping the right knee in line with the right shoulder, use your left elbow to prop your knee open. And again, try not to curl your tailbone up. Relax it down to the ground. Take the tension out of your neck and shoulders. Breathe. Good. Release that second side. Take your two knees and twist them over towards the left as your right shoulder draws down to the ground for a simple two-knee twist. If this is too deep, place a blanket, bolster, or block between your knees for support. A little trick you can do here is take your left hand to your top right hip crease and kind of just push that right thigh away from your chest just a little bit. Always opens up my lower back really nicely. Deepen your breath. I don't know about you, but I feel pretty good at this point. Let's bring our knees back to center and just twist them over to the right now, using your props if you need. Try to keep your left shoulder on the ground. You can look to the left if that makes sense in your body. And again, that little trick, taking your free right hand to the top of your left hip crease and just pushing the flesh away from you just a little bit, and you'll feel more opening in the lower back. If that's creating too much tension to do that part, just don't do it. Beautiful. Let's come on back to center. Grab a hold of your knees, just hug them in, out towards your armpits. If you want to, you can give yourself a little hug. I always like that. Deep breath in, squeeze the body. And exhale, let's find our resting pose. So for any back pain, I always like bent knees, feet slightly apart, knees falling together. You can place a bolster under your thighs, or if you have a wall nearby, I really highly suggest doing feet up the wall. So you can do a simple back your butt right up to the wall and place your feet up the wall. If you have a bolster, tuck it underneath your butt, your lower back, and that will support you a little bit more. So wherever you have chosen to do your final resting pose, do not skip this part. Just let your body receive the benefits of what you just did. Take a moment to close your eyes and one more deep breath in. Let the breath go. May you heal your body and your mind and your heart from this practice. May you feel better than when you started. And may you stick with it so you can see the longevity of the practice and how that can change how you feel, not only physically but mentally as well. Stay here in this final resting pose for as long as you have. If you have 5 minutes, do give yourself those 5 minutes. If you have more is better. This is where I leave you. I thank you so much for being on this journey with me and finding this practice today. Please let me know in the comments what you thought. Hit the subscribe button before you leave. And I hope to see you again real soon. Namaste, friends.